On the passenger side of the engine are two lanterns mounted right to the engine. There were two lanterns here originally in 1938, but not these particular lanterns. I believe these are from the 1950s and would have been put on in that time period. I don't know if these are exactly the ones that were on there in the 1950s, but in the restoration process, I want to make it 1938 in appearance, so the search was on for the original lanterns that would have been on the engine in 1938. I did find one. It is exactly like this right here. This is the type of lantern that was on the engine originally. It's a LaFrance Electric Lantern made by the American LaFrance Foamite Corporation. They also had to do with the fire trucks, the American LaFrance fire engines as well. What I will need to do is restore this. It's the wrong color. It should be red, of course. Not of course, but it was a red lantern originally. And the metal parts, there's some here that need to be polished and made shiny as well. I could get it functioning, perhaps I will. The only issue is that if you turn it on, it could be left on and just kill the battery anyway, so we'll see how that works. Now these lanterns are mounted by a little bracket that's mounted onto the engine, and then there's a slot in the back here on the handle that they slip over. And this one has the same kind of mounting system as well, so they should work just fine here. Although the size is a little different, the gap here is a little smaller, so it actually will not fit on this particular bracket at the moment. I could put some spacers in here to make it fit. It's just very small difference that I'll have to adjust to make the lantern fit. But to get a second one will be great as well. So I'll have the original style and type and brand of lantern that was on the engine originally. So what I'll be doing is I will be showing the entire process of me working on the lantern to restore it to original condition, and you'll see that as the video progresses. So in the meantime, we'll just keep these lanterns on here, and when I get one finished, I'll put one on there, and I'll have the other one here as well, just to fill the space, if you will, until I find a second one of the LaFrance type of lantern. I completely took apart the lantern. I had the body media blasted, and then I painted the parts red. All of the other parts I cleaned and polished the best that I could, and now it is ready for reassembly. And with just a snap of the fingers, the lantern is finished and ready to be put on the engine. The project today is to finish replacing this lantern, which was on the engine with this other one when we acquired the engine, with a period correct lantern that I restored. I'm still looking for a second one, but this will work for now, having one of them. What I had to do is I had to actually modify the bracket to fit the other lantern. This was the bracket that was on there. This is not an original bracket because there are 3 holes here and there are 4 holes here, and there's actually 2 more holes here. I don't know what these other 2 holes are for, but just these bottom 3 are used for this particular bracket. There's another hole here. I don't know if the original bracket was held on by these 2 holes here with screws or bolts, and I had to modify it a little bit. I had to shave off very little bit off the back because the the gap on the bracket on the back is a little thinner opening than for this lantern. And I didn't feel too bad about it. I don't know what this bracket was from. It's not original to here. And it had already been modified. Somebody had ground off the sides here to make it narrower. So it'll work just fine for the restored lantern. It'll just fit in there just like that. There's a thick piece of wood on the back side. So I'm going to have to screw these in once I get the bracket on here. So to get it to go into the wood on the other side. Okay, again, this is what was on there, like that. Take that one off and put the correct one on. There we go. See, the bracket's a little narrow, so it kind of wobbles a little bit. I'm going to have to do something to make it more stable on there, but so that see, this one doesn't turn. That bracket is a little narrow, so it does this sort of thing, but it'll work for now. I'll have to do something to make it a little tighter on there. All right, excellent. So that project is finished. One of them anyway. Eventually, of course, when I find a second one of these, I'll mount it over here as well.